We're live. Cool. Hi. Hello. Surprise. I'm streaming tonight. Or if you're watching the recording after the fact, I did stream tonight. What am I streaming? Well, I'm just streaming a behind the scenes look at how I go and get everything set up in OBS. For those who are unaware, I'm going to be doing this now on Wednesday nights. I mean, we're going to still stream, Jade and I, on Thursdays, but also have a second night now, or an earlier night. These nights, Wednesday nights. As for what it's going to be, well, we'll get to that in a bit. But first things first, wanted to say a quick, hearty, happy end of the month to all those who made it this far. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but it feels like this February has been absolutely jam packed with all kinds of stuff. And I know I certainly needed to hear it as much as the next guy that, hey, good job making it this far. You've definitely heard it. Secondly, I had to postpone our now going to be our second stream of the week. Our haunted hangout is going to be on Friday. So if you do follow any of my other content or shows, that's going to be on Friday. Only because normally it's on Thursday, but it's going to be on Friday now because Resident Evil Requiem, which I announced last week we're going to be playing, doesn't release on Wednesday like I initially thought. No, it releases on Friday. So I moved it back then, which may mean if I can convince dear Jade, we can play a bit longer, which would be fucking rad if I do say so myself. And I do. As for tonight, I made a poll last week on what would people, would like to see more of, and I've narrowed it down to a few things. Well, I asked, what the first option was to play more games. It goes without saying that Haunted Hangouts has been awfully popular as of late. The Gaming Gauntlet was a total blast, and I think now more than ever, a lot of you really seem to like these kind of shows. So I figured, I'll play more games. The second option was to talk more about movies and TV. Like I've tried a few times to start up kind of like a review show or just a general conversational show about the latest horror films with Graveyard Gush. And suffice it to say, always got mixed opinions on that. The third option was to talk more about board games and tabletop RPGs. So a lot of the Creature Creator videos I know a lot of you have started following before. And the last one, not least, I want to watch you work on videos. Now, of the four options, the one that went out overall was I want to see you play more games, which is cool. That's frankly kind of fun for me because the other ones, I don't know, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. And for me, I know for the longest time I've often struggled with like doing what I thought was more fun for me or whatever. I felt maybe too easy. That simply, what can I say? Simply felt like a cop out that I would like bore people doing too much of the same thing. So the one thing I probably enjoy the most as of late, which is the gaming streams. I mean, it allows me to go and be full on I guess a DJ. I mean, I don't think I bring it up too often, but I used to do radio before I got into what I'm doing now. And this feels very much like that kind of environment, this kind of conversational experience. The second most one, though, was the one here you talk about board games and tabletop RPGs, which, yeah, I mean, I'm well known for that, for of the 1,000 plus of you out there who are currently following me. I know that you enjoy that, and when I made them, I certainly did too. But I keep finding myself increasingly in cases where, whenever I try to work on that content, I just struggle. I hit like roadblocks, and I get to the point where I finally come back to the same editing bay, and without any inspiration, it's like reading a book, getting really involved into it for a solid 3 weeks, suddenly find yourself having to step away for what feels like almost a month, coming back and just not having that spark, not knowing the direction anymore. It's like, okay, to go find it again. And then go through the same process of like, oh, I want to make a video, I get started, something comes up where I have to go take care of that and come back, and I just lose all inspiration for it. So I'll just start from the beginning. That's happened at least 5 or 6 times in the last year, where I have so many scripts that I've just begun, lost the momentum, and decided, okay, I need to start fresh again. Meanwhile, streams have been clearly much more, I don't want to say easier, because these things aren't easy, as you'll probably see soon tonight. There's a lot of work into them, and some of which I've already done off screen just for the sake of ease of what I want to do tonight. Hey, Phantom! Welcome. Oh, you didn't miss much. Just me starting the intro. I mean, I didn't tell anyone about this, but hi, buddy. What was I saying? Yeah, so tonight with the behind-the-scenes stuff, I've done some things beforehand. Not too much. I'll still give you a look at what I did. I just won't go through every single step of the process because it can take a while. Whoa, yeah, Wednesday stream. Yeah, get ready. This is going to be a weekly thing now. And I'm excited to build the new show tonight. I'm so glad to see people are popping in. This is why I'm doing this. I hope you realize that, because you guys give me faith in that it's worthwhile streaming twice a week. Like, I've been beating around the bush for ages on doing this, and it's nice to know that I can. I mean, I still want to go promote, and I do get the word out as much of an advance as I can. But it's nice to know I can just go and drop a stream and suddenly have people popping in to say hi. That warms my heart. Hey, it's indeed for horses, or ponies, or donkeys if you enjoy them. But anyway, before I get too off the beaten track, the second stream, which can only be the first stream of the week, going to be streaming Wednesdays and Thursdays. Thursdays will continue being Haunted Hangouts, typically. But on Wednesday, I have decided to look into doing something I tried back in 2024, which is wild to think. I thought it was last year, but no, it was almost 2 years ago now. Try to make the second night of the week be focused on adventure and action games. Something I've always wanted to do for a while, kind of like a nice contrast to horror. And I mean, clearly, I love my adventure topics. In the past, this was traditionally the show I called Amazing Adventures. Going forward, it's going to be Awesome Adventures, because I love my alliteration. And not sure if I'll put a poll out like I do with the Haunted Hangouts, but definitely, I think, it was very much inspired by the Castlevania nights of the Gaming Gauntlet. Just how fun it was to play something that was just less horror and less, like, terrifying and slow. Something a bit more excitement, a bit more levity. Because I feel like I need more levity in my life. And if anything, just gives me more reasons to play Skylanders, which frankly was one of the best games, at least most popular games I played during the entirety of the Gauntlet, which is wild. So too late for suggestions? No. Oh, no, not at all. I haven't announced any games yet. I haven't taken any suggestions for these particular nights. Like, I have a few that I'll definitely throw into the hat that I bought that I would like to do, but I'm always looking for other adventure games. Because to give you an idea of what I'm looking for is that, like, the Metal Gear Solid games, these nice, enriching narrative titles that have, I don't know, not complete nonsense action-packed scenes. Like, I'm not sure if I'll do any kind of, like, Uncharted, but, like, they have good set pieces that leave you wondering, that leave you exploring and just having story. I guess the big thing I want for these nights is freaking good stories. Yeah. So let me know if you have any ideas there. I would not be surprised, if I can, to kind of swap these nights with Haunted Hangouts, depending on the games Jade and I want to play. So either way, you'll be needing 2 nights a week now, Flint. Maybe 3 if I can, how things go going forward. Like, I've always wanted to do 3 nights a week. I just wasn't sure if I physically could do it and if there's interest for it. So yeah, the more you enjoy it, the more you enact, the more I'll keep keeping it up, and the more fun times you'll get. So, with all that interlude out of the way, let's get into how I go about actually making my setup for my OBS streams. And hi, Baka, welcome to the surprise stream. Hi, and yeah, like, I appreciate you, you're trying to be here. Don't sweat if you can, because that's why I always record this stuff. But yeah, let's get started making this a thing. Now, in the past, I'm not sure. Well, I should ask this. This is for those in chat, I guess more than anything, not for those after the fact. Like, how many of you have actually looked at OBS? I'm assuming not many, because it's, unless you're kind of going into streaming, that's something really you look into. Probably have heard of at least once or twice. But it's kind of plain. Okay, cool. So you know what I'm kind of talking about here, Wally. It's where it's all the little doodads, all the bells and whistles you can set up are easy to do. It just takes a lot of finagling and setup to make it run well. It's kind of like almost putting together, to use a mundane example or a metaphor, like an Excel sheet that you can use as a budget. For me, it's always in the past been a variety of things where to make mine work. When I first started really streaming, it was with my laptop. I used my TV as a second screen, and I used my phone as a webcam, along with the mic I've had since my early days doing radio. Blue Yeti, man, these things last forever. Now I got 2 screens, a nice little setup here, a webcam, which at some point I need to get actually attached to my desk and not connected to my computer, because I realize every time I talk or do anything on this, it causes the camera to shake. So I hope to work on that in the long run. But let me give you more idea of what this kind of has led me ultimately to. Right now I'm using what is considered the haunted hangout scenes and sources to do this part of the show, only because I don't get anything else set up otherwise. But here is the full screen as I see it so far. I normally, when I do run the games, and some of you did see this during the gaming gauntlet, but on this right screen over here is normally where I have the games playing. I put it there. I usually keep it nice and a little bit smaller in this space, so I can still keep an eye on the sound levels, as well as have an eye on the chat here, because to me, I think it's always important when I do these streams that when I do talk to you guys, that I'm facing you still. I try to kind of keep the, to me it's more engaging from a camera setup instead of just off to the side talking like I'm someone to the other room. No, and someday I can actually get a teleprompter to have the chat right above the camera. Elgato, which is the webcam, the manufacturer of the webcam I use, and the Stream Deck I have down here, they sell a really cool teleprompter. They can put the chat box on, so when I read the chat, it look like I'm actually talking with you, which I like. I like to have that connection. So I've once or twice to look into that project image I talked to you about. Okay, yeah. And yeah, it would be cool to have, because Elgato does really great stuff for streamers, I must say. But before I go any further, let me show you one thing. I brought this up earlier in the gauntlet, but one of my greatest tools now is this little sucker right here. This is now my control board, my skeleton key to wonders that I can do everything I can now in OBS. And it's with this simple device, as we're using a lot of this tonight, that I can do all kinds of stuff with the press of a button. Now, normally this is actually lit up with custom-made icons, information that I can use, but I can't point it at the camera and show you guys at the same time. Oh no! Where did the cord go? They can plug it in. Shisa! Hang on. Yeah. There you go. There it is. Should have unplugged that. Yep, basically. One button to rule them all. Oh, maybe I can actually show it to you guys a little bit on camera. Can it stretch? It can. Cool. All right. Take that back. So normally, that's it. Powers up, It looks like this. The symbols here, you can have too clear of a view I can see on camera. Maybe if I turn off my lights. Boop! You see a bit better. A little bit, yeah. So we have like graphics that help move and kind of help catch the eye. But I use these throughout the stream now to switch to what I call different focuses. Like I have this one here to focus normally on just the game. This middle one is what I call the main focus. This is the main focus of both me and whatever on screen, typically the game. You got camera focus, which brings me back to here. I have toggles, which you really can't see unless you're on this screen, but this is where I can like toggle to have like a small cam toggle. Like I'm doing a DS. Oh, the small camera toggle allows me to switch the positions of my camera. I sometimes forget what each of these do, at least how I labeled them. I have my little Discord cam toggle, which helps me to focus on any kind of Discord calls I'm in. And there, as well as the 3DS now toggle, which I can now turn on to show the second screen on any DS games I play. And you'll see this later tonight. The sheer amount of like coding and kind of steps you have to do to make this work with one button click is crazy. But I have all kinds of stuff like that, and we'll be going through tonight to get all these set up for awesome adventures. Like I got the button now here for my brakes. Bring that back. And all these buttons do all kinds of things. They switch different scenes, sources. They auto-mute and turn on all kinds of different stuff. It's all now automated with a few button presses. And this has both been a blessing and a curse, to say the least. A mystery thing in the top left. What top left? You mean this top left? Yeah, or you mean back here with the 3D screen toggle. Yeah, that is just this there is where I normally have like my DS screen kind of loaded up, because you have to kind of like, for those who've used OBS, you know this, but those who don't, you actually have to go and set up where certain cameras, certain desktop images are focused. Let me bring it back to my full camera. Now in the past, with OBS, you can set it to have it a bit like, what do they call it? Yeah, well, you have two things you need to know about. You have profiles and scene collections. Both of these are used to kind of allow you to have multiple settings setups, or like I guess like all the elements you need for respective shows. Like you have a collection that I used to do this, a collection of nothing but like haunted hangout material, graphics, all of that. A collection for just Gaming Gauntlet. The thing is, I learned while getting ready for the Gaming Gauntlet that switching between collections, which kind of helps simplify a lot of my screens and stuff over here, would cause the Elgato to freak out, because also the buttons are tied to respective things that both collections share, and for whatever reason, switching between them caused the Elgato to go like all kinds of derpy. It was it was frustrating. I basically would have had to go in whenever I switched shows to go and like restart the Stream Deck properly, and it made it a nightmare. So now it's all one file. And what does it look like? Well, let's show you. So let's see. Let's go full screen. Boop. So over here. I'm not sure what you can see of that right now. But over here you have two things, like I said. You have your scenes and sources. Now sources here, this little colorful bits right here, these pertain to the various elements you see on screen. Like this one up here is the, I guess, layer that controls the logo. I have what's called my window for my border, the desktop capture, so on and so forth. This essentially isn't actually the files imported into the software. It's more so like OBS kind of uses it like shortcuts. It's like, okay, you the user, me, Flint, you want a moving graphic to show up at this location over here. Cool, cool, cool. Using the file that you've listed to be at this location and settings thereof. And it just does it for you. It's nice. El Gato, yeah. And, which is, keeps it simple, keeps the load nice and light for the software. But it makes it a nightmare for anyone who wants to go and make a show to have to go through and ensure all the stuff is labeled correctly. Fortunately, there's an easy way to go about this to make sure you don't cross your T's and dot your I's incorrectly. It just makes it really tedious, because when I had to go put everything under one house, it meant that I needed to have separate scenes and double the sources for everything. So normally what I used to have, every collection used to have just one thing called lower animated logo, and I'll just link it towards whatever it was for that respective show. Now I need to have multiple versions of lower animated logo and so on and so forth. Right now I feel like I'm kind of talking in circles. I think the best way to show you what I mean is to just go about it and get started. Now over here is the Stream Deck kind of setup screen. This is what my little Gato control board uses for every button. I even can control my setup from here as well. And actually, let me give you a closer look at that with my one screen option. Nope. Fine. I'll just press the button that way. Boop. There you go. So this is what I kind of see in front of me a bit more clearly. It's under here that I can go about switching to different command posts or different kinds of parts of the show to really, control a variety of different things. It's also underneath here using this particular section. This is actually controlled by one of my knobs. I can actually, with this one little thing, control my camera, my sound level, my mic, and all kinds of stuff. But there's so much to go in there. I can spend hours on every little detail. But how do I go about actually making my show or a show? Well, first things first, I need to make sure two things. Number one, I need to go about making a duplicates of all the main, what's called scenes for the new show, as well as setting up a whole new Stream Deck setup for all my different buttons on my Elgato. And then it'll go through and then relink all this up to make sure it all works bit by bit. It's almost kind of like rewiring a new house using the same blueprint from the building next door. It's easy to do. It just takes a while. But I hope you kind of enjoy the journey as I go about doing this. Now, I personally like to do is, knowing that I'm going to be working with this as I build things as I go along, is get this Stream Deck ready first. So to that end, over here, boop, I'm gotta go and let's see, hit this button here, go to my profiles, and I'm gonna go and duplicate what's called a profile. Now, much like OBS, where I could have different kinds of loadouts for different shows, in Elgato I could have full-on different control boards all underneath one house. I have one I just use for my casual use of the computer. I have one that I've set up for Discord when I play Final Fantasy 14, when I DM, and a whole different loadouts for OBS and Gauntlet. That's a good way to look at it. These things are a lot like loadouts like you'd use in a video game. So I'm going to go and duplicate that one. Go. Put it down here. And let's call it I'll just call it Adventures. There we go. Boop. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So now underneath there, I can switch it to this and boop. I now have a whole new setup I can now muck around with and get set up for the new show. Now, one thing I've done to make sure I don't get my different boards confused is I've labeled them. That's what this show select is. What this does. Underneath that, I have my two other shows currently programmed in. hitting those will adjust it to be all the way out for that particular program. In this case, it's on Hangout. Hit it again. Hit Gaming Gauntlet. Now all this stuff is now set up for Gaming Gauntlet, which means all those buttons you saw will now make it so to bring up my Gaming Gauntlet stuff. And we're going to do all this for Amazing Awesome Adventures. Speaking of DMing, I really need to set up a session for Roll20 one of these days. Yeah, that I've done before. I mean, don't get too intimidated, but especially don't get intimidated with something like this. Honestly, the biggest thing I find that needs to be remembered is just know that, yeah, it's going to take some time, but it's a little patience and a little elbow grease. You get something pretty cool that you can use. Now over here, there's a few things I need to go get started with right off the bat. Granted, we're not doing Gaming Gauntlets, obviously, so let's get rid of that. I'm going to be hitting my little pre-show button here to bring it up to this screen where you have nothing. This is what I started on. This is all my shows have that. It's nothing too fancy. This is what I call my camera check screen. It has no graphics, no shiny bits. It's where I can go and make sure that my Elgato is primed for me to go and adjust the cameras I need to see fit to make sure I look all nice and pretty for the program. Because I've learned that even to adjust to auto, leads it to mixed results. That all shed. We need to get some scenes set up. Scenes. I've been seeing it a lot today. What scenes ultimately mean are the entire kind of loadout of every kind of, well, image you see here. It's kind of like you see in a TV show where it's like, okay, for instance, my whole camera shot, or desktop shot, is a scene. The camera is also a scene. Each one of these I need to set up with the proper graphics. Now, we'll give you back the desktop shot. And can I get a full screen, please? Boop, boop. For more to the current discussion, but so it'll be 95 when it comes to tech talk. That's fine. It's honestly, I mean, I could just go and start making stuff, and you guys can all just chill while I do it. But I figured I can narrate as I go along, because I don't know, people seem to be interested in how I make this stuff happen. That's kind of the whole point about tonight. What's this? I've done it before. Thankfully, just been slacking, life and health. I get that, laziness especially. The world's been crazy as of late. Let's be fair. Now, I might make a separate display capture. You can see this over here. I'll do that real quick. I'll just presume you guys can see the crap I'm doing. But maybe I'll just do it. Or better yet, I'll just do it this way. Boop-a-doop. Get ready for infinite vision. Woo! Okay. Why just do that in the first place? So what I need to do now, or we're going to be doing as we continue talking about this stuff, is I'm going to be periodically going down the line you see here, making ones for the adventure show, or our new Adventure Night show. And there's overall like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like 12 different scenes we need to now duplicate. But they do so much for the overall program. But let's start with, start. Normally, when I hit the buttons, you guys can't hear a ting I'm saying. But let's go and make sure the music is turned off, because you don't need to hear that right now. Shut up. All right. All of this is a variety of elements. Let's kind of break it down. And I'll do it for at least this one, so you guys have an idea what exactly is happening. So, at the bottom level, we have what I call the black and white stream cam. Ooh. This is really here for a way to kind of show that while I am on break or things are getting started up, then I'm still on camera. Because I've noticed that in other streams I like to watch, that it's kind of nice, kind of fun to see people moving around, getting things into place. It gives you something to look at, the viewer, while waiting for the actual main thing to start. It was very much inspired by some of my favorite plays, where you kind of see the crew or some kind of like characters kind of slowly get ready while the rest of the audience gets situated. And yes, it's good for spooky storytelling too. And all this really is just my webcam and a filter darkened to be all spooky. That's on top of this layer is I call the standby graphics. That is, well, you've seen this many times before. It's my, color bar testing thing. Now, that's also a variety of different elements. And actually, before I go any further, I should make sure that have made our first proper boop. Scene. Boop. I'll put that there. Cool. So I'm gonna turn the intro on. Introduce it back for a second. It's done. Okay, cool. All right, now back to what I was saying. So now this is now a proper fresh scene, and so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All I have done, where is it? That's not my desktop. There we go. Is I've just duplicated this. Now we have this adventure start. Now, this part's by far, I think, one of the easiest I'll be doing throughout all of this is going through and updating like all these graphics. But like I was trying to say before, the standby graphic is a combination of different things, a variety of things actually. Starts off with just what I call the please stand by graphic. Who was Hook-Hand Car Door? Hook-Hand Car Door. Love that. I actually might use this if I ever do storytelling on these streams. But this here isn't a GIF. It's actually a video I made in Adobe Premiere. It's about, I want to say, maybe 5 to 10 minutes long. And I've made it so it loops seamlessly. And OBS is set up to have this loop whenever I bring up the screen. I think it saves its spot. So if I ever left and come back, it would come back right to this one, point in the color bar line. It used to be a static image. I made it moving because I felt like if it's a stream, I've always been really big on having movement because it keeps the eyes engaged, it's not plain, and it makes the stream, in my opinion, look overall more active, more interesting to be a part of. On top of that, you have the ink layer, which kind of darkens the ink a bit more. Yeah, a Fox GIF. Though there is some GIFs I do use, like the... Nope, not that. It looks like this video is... I guess the Gauntlet is one of the rare cases where it's not its own separate thing. I want to say my Haunted Hangout, all these elements are separate, but this one, it's all on top of it. So I have one for the ink, one for the titles. Here's the big one, though. The logo. This one is a static image, only because I felt like it's a good way to have the branding be this kind of be known from the get-go, what kind of show you're watching. I know most streamers don't really have titles for their shows. And I think at a time when I first started my channel, I had, the Creature Creator and all that. I didn't want to have my channel be named after the show I did. I wanted it to be like, oh, Flintworth's Gaming Gauntlet, Flintworth's Haunted Hangout. I kind of like to have that identity, that kind of branding there. And I liked the use of alliteration because it makes it easier to remember, for one. And two, it's just, I don't know, makes it kind of fun to try to think up different alliterative titles. That said, well, most of the branding is very similar and all inspired by a Creature Creator style, which was very much inspired by early 90s art and advertisements. In fact, the original, let's see, the original logo of Creature Creator was pretty much, I don't want to say copied, but heavily inspired by the original Creature Creator logo. The Thing Maker, as it's also known throughout the ages, that came out in the 90s, where you can make little creepy crawly bugs. I think I have one up here still. No, it's gone. But hang on, I'll just... One second. Ta-da! This little bugger. This is a creepy crawler thing maker. It was one of the big toys of the 90s. It's been around since, I want to say, the 60s or 70s. And it's kind of like a easy bake oven, but marketed for boys, where you basically would take these metal plates, fill them with like plastic, what they call goop, and you would put them inside here and heat them up and kind of essentially like, I don't want to say dehydrate them, but you kind of like make all kinds of ooey gooey things. And this was one of my favorite toys growing up. I loved making stuff. And it's not, oh no, you don't make candy with this. You do not eat this stuff. It's not great. But when I got inspired to do Creature Creator, I thought back to what kind of elements I could go about making it stand out, the brand, the images, and all that. And for whatever reason, I think it's also where I decided to keep the alliteration theme up. Creature Creator, creepy crawlers. It's easy to remember. It has that. It's fun to say out loud. But the color scheme, if you look at it, that mix of green and red with the yellow highlights, I took that as my inspiration for the original Creature Creator logo, and I've been trying to follow that style ever since. Like every one of my titles, no matter what color schemes I choose, they always need to have some form of yellow highlights or some kind of effect to make them pop. And I've chosen colors specifically that I don't want to say contrast, because that's like that blend well with one another. I use a color wheel off of Adobe's like color picking site to make sure that all these hues flow well together. And it's all because of this one machine that kind of like grew out from that. There's all these kind of fun little details. I never get to talk about them. I'm kind of happy I get to do so tonight. But outside the color choices and all that, like the tearing was inspired by my favorite movie posters growing up. I didn't want to ever have like straight lines. What kind of felt like rough, raw, because oftentimes I see a lot of art in some videos that just feel very flat. It doesn't have like that depth of field of vision that I kind of wanted it to kind of make it my work images feel more lifelike. So that's why you see, let's see, that's in this screen, for instance, like that's why you have like the jagged lines all around. If you notice, actually, that the border does move as well. It's also a very long looping video that I've built up to, well, keep things from not ever being too static on screen, to keep everything exciting no matter what is being shown. I think if you look at what I call the cabin background, which is traditionally what Creature Creators like images and colors were inspired. This is the cabin is the Creature Creator setting, so to speak. Here, let me clear up some of the stuff on the side. We don't need to see this. Boop boop. And boop. There you go. Yeah, and what's cool about this image is it's also a whole series of different effects that kind of create this. For one, if you look on the sides, the ink, as I call it, the ink splatters, is like slowly moving towards the screen. It's kind of creates like this tunnel effect that I kind of wanted to help like to draw in the viewer's eye. Two, the lights. All that is are fairy lights in a jar, a mason jar, that I've taken and like videotaped towards the camera, you know, and then slowly rotated, you know, back and forth, and then slowed it down and it'll be premiered to kind of create this kind of like whimsical, glowy, almost like sprite-like effect to kind of add all in this different vibes to kind of keep that motion going. Exactly, exactly. All these little tiny little things, even down to the backgrounds themselves, are meant to emulate whatever like show or setting I'm trying to do, and it's something that, you know, I never wanted to be outright noticed, but if you do it, you can appreciate it. But kind of like, I guess the goal and hope was whatever I did use like for backgrounds, all this stuff, created the vibes I wanted subtly, you know, kind of get you into different kinds of moods. So like that's why the Creature Creator cabin, which is a cabin from the film location where they filmed Friday the 13th. This is a shot I took in person of Alice's cabin from Camp Nobi Bosco, I think is how you say it, in New Jersey. It was in color. I took away I saturated it to black and white, and then put this dark blue on there to kind of create nighttime. Because if you recall from the original Creature Creator videos, you fly through the forest and end up inside a cabin, and this was the cabin you're supposed to become inside. And when I tried to create my other shows, I used the inspiration or theme that the first of these videos was a film location I've been to in person, and just kind of rolled with that. I can show this a bit more clearly in Photoshop. And I've brought this up before, but I don't think I've ever shown every single one of these. And let's see. Come on and load up. All right. Do. So let's bring back up. And this is a lot of the stuff I did this morning to kind of keep this part being more simple and clean. Let's see. I need this one? Yes, let's go with this one for now. Let's see. I think all of these should have it. But I've brought this up before. But this is my Photoshop setup. This is where I go and create all of my thumbnails. But it also uses a lot of the same assets and styles you see in the streams. Now, get our goofbutts out of the way. Let's get rid of anything else. We'll talk about that stuff later. Okay. So the orange I went with because it's the opposite of the blue from Creature Creator. But the actual scene itself, let me get down to that underneath the backgrounds here. That's what this whole tab is. I think I should have, nope, I just have Haunted Hangouts here. But Haunted Hangouts is boop, 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 boop. All these fun little layers and these effects is actually, turn all this off. Missing something else here. But this is actually the street from Shaun of the Dead. There's that classic shot of him waking up and walking down to go to the shop where he goes and gets an ice cream cone and all that kinds of stuff. Yeah. I'd spend a day going there to find the street and go just there. But that's what Creature Creator is going towards. And I figured that would be perfect for Haunted Hangouts because, well, it's to be hanging out at the house, at home. So I wanted a location that invoked, you know, neighborhoods and all those vibes. Now, for the adventure show, I'll get rid of this now. Don't save anything. Let's see. I need this one. Nope. I need this one. I got too many damn folders. Okay, here we go. Or actually, would it be under here? I'll just do the awesome YouTube cards. But this location, doop-a-doop-doo, get rid of all the stuff. I'd be surprised if anyone in this particular show tonight knows this one. But this is a castle in Ireland that Jen and I went to go visit on our honeymoon. A castle that just so happens to be the castle where they filmed a bunch of scenes for Braveheart, the old Mel Gibson film. And when it came time for me to find an adventure-focused place, I mean, you can't get more better than a castle. But that's the image we're going to be using a lot tonight for our stream setup. Yeah. Like I said, every one of the different thumbnails, backgrounds, and all the shows do different things or have different like connections that way. Like I know I mentioned on this during the Gauntlet. Maybe I do have all of them here. During the Gauntlet, that background is the now demolished. I think this is my storytelling show or video series I tried doing once upon a time. Let's see. Yeah, give me Gauntlet. Here we go. The Gauntlet is a soundstage. To be exact, the soundstage used to sit opposite where I used to work in Universal Studios, the theme park. This used to be right across the way from Jurassic Park the ride. It was inside here they used to film things like Frankenstein, like the very old classic Frankenstein 1920s classic film, and so much more. I think it's torn down now for I think this is where they built eventually the Nintendo World in Hollywood. But I wanted to have something that really reminded me of just what it was like to work at this park and kind of be a part of the grind, hence why I used it for the Gauntlet. Let's see. Silly Stories, I said before, is actually the firehouse from Ghostbusters. Not sure how clear it is in this particular light. But, oh, there we go. Yeah. 8 Hook and Ladder. Yeah, this is the outside location where they filmed Ghostbusters. Inside was actually filmed at a fire station in Hollywood. But, yeah, so on and so forth. Like, Graveyard Gush was a cemetery I want to say I visited in Cambridge. Delightful Drawings is Camden Bridge. This is another location in London. Camden Locks. It's a kind of like this big old shopping center that's now very kind of the hub. It used to be a lock for like actually like a boat lock to get through a river. Used to be a stable here, but now it's very much like the alternate art scene in London. This is where you can go find a lot of really cool like punk artists, all kinds of niche shops. Like I bought a nice leather jackets from this place, and it's very artsy fartsy. It shows up in films like The Eternals and a lot of TV shows. Like most recently, I think it was in Doctor Who. So that's a little bit behind the scenes for that shit. I know this is like I said, so much goes into making all this stuff. This is why I took the time to kind of give you an idea of what we're working with here. Oh, let's see. Fairy lights in Ireland, huh? You like Fae, don't you? No, I don't. I'm terrified of Fae, but I like castles, and that's a cool castle. Yeah. I'm glad you do enjoy it. I'm not sure everyone does, but those who do, I think, will at least enjoy this bit. And frankly, I figured if I have to go about making all this stuff up for an awesome adventures, let's get used to that. Not amazing adventures, awesome adventures. I might as well show you how it's made. All right. So back under here, I need to get this all set up. So first things first, I'm going to actually get rid of Photoshop because it's in the way. I'm going to get rid of the Extra Life logo. Don't need that. Boop. I need to create a new copy of this. Let me actually show you what I'm doing. Boop. Boop. There we go. It's underneath. I guess Galen can't show what I'm doing. Never mind. I am duplicating. Actually, no, this stuff. Actually, I duplicated the wrong thing. Oops. All right. Yes, that, please. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong here. All right, you. Copy. Paste duplicate. Thank you. Cool. Now, what you can't see is I just went about creating a second folder source of all this stuff, which I'm not going to rename to be now. To be used for adventures. Cool. Under here, let's do the same thing. Copy. Duplicate. We are going to change that to you. Maybe from my hard drive to warm up. My largest hard drive I have here, it's I want to say a 20 terabyte hard drive. I can store a lot. It's mighty. Whatever I haven't used for a while, it shuts itself down and needs to warm up to be used again. Which is kind of sad, because I actually don't really need anything off of it. I use a different drive here to my computer. Let's see here. There we go. I want that one. I want this one. That. Got the PNG file I made elsewhere beforehand. Then boop. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I'm going to name this that. Boop, 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 boop. Da-da-da. Get rid of this. Don't need that anymore. Don't need this anymore. Be gone, thought. I don't need this here. Be gone. Boop. Okay. Now, it looks a little bit funky for some reason. I think I know why. Put you out there. The layering of this thing can be so funky sometimes. No, I don't want you to actually be... Let's do that. Thank you. And then... do it that way. There you go. Ha ha ha. There we go. Got it fixed. I just need to go set this up in the right spot. Is that what's going on? Okay, no, that's fine. Get back in there. Any clues or hints about the new show you're setting up for? Well, I mean, you missed most of it. I don't think you were here earlier, but yeah, Awesome Adventures. It's going to be another gaming stream for the most part. Going to be looking to play more action adventure games. And not sure what game works out first. I can't decide whether I want to do a second set of polls to find out what games we're going to play. Because there'd be a lot of voting going forward, like to have us vote for both Haunted Hangouts and Adventures. But I may just leave it as a suggestion inside the actual show itself. Because I'll be honest, the Haunted Hangouts I think are frankly more popular, so I don't want to take away too much from that. Because I keep that as the main focus. It's kind of like I don't know. Either way, I know I've been overthinking a lot of this for a good long while. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can and just kind of going for it. Keep the nice strong choices with all this. Anyway, hope that answers your question. Cool. Yeah. Like Baldur's Gate, it would be fun, or Skyrim. I have thought looked at I have looked at Metal Gear Solid because that's a good strong action game. It's a very long franchise, and I never played through the originals before. And I thought a lot like how things went with Castlevania, which is what inspired a lot of me to go towards trying an action adventure series again. That could be a good strong start. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad I had answered that well. I've also thought about doing more Skylanders because apparently people like that. Zelda can be used for this format as well. And what else? What else? Oh, I thought about doing more visual novels, like kind of inspired of how much fun Slay the Princess was. I was looking at maybe streaming the Fate Stay Night visual novel. It's something. Fate Stay Night's my favorite anime franchise. I've always wanted to go and check out the visual novel itself, and thought it'd be kind of fun to read it with people. And because it's both fantasy and horror at times, I can see it flip flopping between the different series. But the thing is, I'm not sure how niche that is, and that's the thing. That's the thing I keep second guessing myself on is how much do I go asking for like votes and suggestions, or just playing the damn game. You know, Hollow Cure. That's right. You mentioned that a few times there too. Hollow Cure, State of the Fan. It's like a gotcha game, right? Unofficial fan game featuring the VTuber talents of Hollow Live. Oh, okay, that's right. Okay. Yeah, Fate is one of my favorite franchises all the time. It's sprawling. There are so many different series and shows and games, and so much of it has been adapted based on things that's not even like in the U.S. Like there's like shows out there. There's a Netflix show that came out. It was like called Fate Extra, like Final Encore and all that. And if my memory serves me, it's not the actual like story of the game. No, no. It's an anime that takes place technically after the game itself. A game, mind you, that only came out for the PlayStation Portable. It's and they do that all the time. Like the franchise itself, there's so much of Fate's material out there that it's kind of like now, like you choose your own anime. Like the same kind of characters show up throughout of it, but it's all different timelines. It's all very much like interconnected in certain ways. Like if you want to go watch a cooking show, they have that. You want to have a magical girl show, you have that. I just recommend this to know. If you do that, I would only watch the first season. You want war, they got that. Comedy, they got that. It's wild. But not to go too much into it, what I like about it, though, is the fact that it's hard. It's a story about mages fighting over the Holy Grail using popular major characters throughout history and legend and lore. Like, one of my favorite examples of why I love this series is that in one of the early animes, there's a simple scene where it has the likes of King Gilgamesh, Alexander the Great, and King Arthur sit down and discuss and debate over what they think makes a good ruler. Like, it was awesome. It was cool. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be what came out here. I don't know. Either way, a lot of potential. I'm not trying to overthink it, because if I do, you don't watch the Magical Girl one. You do know about that. Yeah. Yeah. That one is... it's not Monica Magica. It's Fate Calid Linear or something like that. Like, if you do ever get curious, my advice is only watch the first season. Everything else gets kind of weird, Japanesey, with Lolitas and icky. It gets icky. Yeah. Oh, so you do know your Carnival Phantasm. Cool. Well, Yeah, That's what I knew about you today, Baka. You're a fellow Fate fan. Yeah, I have Blu-rays of like most of the Fate series I've seen so far. Like I have Fate Zero, Unlimited Blade Works, and the Heavensfield movies, as well as Fate Apocrypha. Like I have all the Blu-rays over there signed by different leading ladies from the franchise. Like I got Saber, I got Rin, I have uh, Sakura over there. I got Mordred, I have Jean, or or better yet, Christina V, who plays Sakura. She's in everything. I dabble in the Wii parts. Yeah. Anyway, I can get away from what we went to or do today, which is creating stuff for this show here. So, all right, so I got this stuff over here all set to go. That looks pretty. That's a good start. Now to go get it all connected to Elgato Stream Deck. Let's see. So let's bring back up my handy dandy desktop focus so you can see what the crap I'm doing. So let's bring up this little doodad from earlier. Back to Adventures. Well, I'm going to go towards what I meant to do. I'm going to come back and get this one thing set up here so it helps us not screw things up. Now, first things first, all these buttons right now don't do much with the actual OBS stream itself. They change what the Stream Deck is showing. Now, if you see under here, every Stream Deck, as I mentioned earlier in this today, has a profile. Basically, its own loadout of different displays. Now, in your mind's eye, look at these like you would a book, going from left to right. One is what I call kind of the main spot. This is where, ideally, when I bring up the control board, is where I begin. Now, if I move left, that's where I kind of switch towards recordings and anything I need to kind of like just capture. These are the kind of features I would normally use when I get back into video making again, which is something that I want to do. Well, these kind of allow me to control that from this point of view. But we're going to be considering ourselves more so with the pre-show. Now, one thing I need to check is, I'm going to hit this button. I have it set up to do 2 actions. Let's take a look at what those are. Let's see, first things first. It's going to switch OBS to my camera check. And then it's going to switch my display board to, oh, no, that is the wrong profile. I want it needs to be under Adventures. And then yes, do the pre-show for Adventures. There we go. So now I hit that button. Boop. You get my camera check on OBS. And down here is now showing my pre-show screen. See? Easy peasy. Now it's going to do that with every other single button that's on this board. Yay. All right, let me bring back up my camera focus. Not that one. Desktop focus. One screen. I said one screen. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to go through all of these to make sure they're all set up. But first things first, to make sure I don't lose my space again, I'm going to first make sure my main page actually takes me back to main. It apparently does. Good. So that should be still back to page 1 under Adventures. Good. Right spot. Now to make sure I don't get this confused again, I'm going to change this button. I use this as an indicator to make sure whenever I do click on this stuff, because all look clearly the same, that I'm not using the wrong board. Now, this image is something I created myself, used through Photoshop. I created a little custom icon. These are very easy to do. I think I have underneath pictures, Stream Deck. There we go. Let's see. Okay, I need my OBS folder. And here. Boop. These are my little tiny custom icons I've set up for OBS. Long Live the Queen. I think I may have played that before. Yes, I have. Oh my goodness. When was the last time I actually touched that game? Honestly, when people were saying, you know, save the princess, I thought this, or kill the princess, I thought that was the game they were talking about. Yeah, I played that 12 years ago. Okay, man, I'm feeling old. It's nice to age myself like that. You've only won that game once. Oh, hey, Drone Story, hello. Aw, well, thank you for popping in either way. It's always good to see friends show up to say hello. You know, isn't anything too exciting. Just me talking about and showing how I set up my OBS loadouts. Speaking of which, right now getting back to making this little button. I've gone and opened up one of the other OBS files and I did main show this that cool. I want to be able to show you all this. So I opened up one of those files in Photoshop. I need to go and get this now to instead have boop my Amazing Awesome Adventures image. Grab this little PNG file. Pop. Perfect. So now just get it set up inside the box. As you can see, it's very, very tiny because it needs to be a certain resolution. That looks about good. It's gonna get. Bop. I don't need this layer anymore, so go to that. Bop. Let's make sure this is nice and centered. Don't leave. Get back in there. Bop it, boop bop. Please be centered. There we go. Is it centered this way too? Boop. There we go. That's better. Still not exactly centered. It's going to bother me. Okay. Now it's centered. Yay! Now what to do now is save that inside of here. Let's just give it a quick name. Amazing Adventures. No, not Amazing Adventures anymore. Amazing sounded weird. Awesome. Awesome Adventures. There we go. Yes, doesn't really matter. Just save the damn thing, please. But we don't need that anymore. Is it saved? I think so. Cool. So back on this screen. Bop, 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 bop. I said bop, bop. Change that. Set from file. Hit that, and then boop. Perfect. There we go. Now I always let this up there. Let me know that I'm on the Adventures profile. All the work for one button. That's be the life of this whole endeavor. I'm gonna find some way to watch that. I wonder if my friend would let me able to borrow his account, because I like Godzilla. Godzilla be cool. Also, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna go adjust that file because it was. You can't see it on my end, but the logo is just wide enough that it is kind of bleeding into the sides of the button and looks kind of weird to my eyes. And I know if I don't do it now, it is going to annoy me. go. This, that. Yeah, actually, how is season 1 of Monarch? Because in fact, I'm kind of surprised it's got a season 2. Oh, sweet! That's fun. When's that dropping, drawing story? Your new trailer. There you go. Perfect. I might go back later and change these to a different image altogether, but for now, for consistency's sake, I'll keep it at that. But I'm thinking at some point to have them look, the symbols look like, where's my pointer? There it is. Like this big old AA over here. My thought process is with, where's my layers? It is vanished. Oh no. I guess I can't show it. But every thumbnail, I have it set up now where I actually have like an abbreviated version of the show title in the back. Because I want the main focus being whatever game or thing we're doing down here. But these would make nice little buttons to keep an eye on which board I'm using. I'll find out where that layers went later. What was I going to say? I lost track. Boop. Alright. Someone's going to go and do a preliminary check to make sure all of these are correct. Okay, that should be back to there. This should, whoop, bring to recording screen. Oh, nope, went to the wrong one. In fact, this is, I think, wrong for all the shows. Yeah. Okay, OBS. That's, no, this is Hunted recording. There we go. The one thing I probably should do is get these buttons set up inside here to properly. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Hang on. You're seeing nothing but a black void. Let me fix that for you. Thank you for your patience. Exactly. That's exactly the thinking about Awesome Adventures. It could allow for more kaiju stuff. It could. I could do like Red Dead Redemption. I could Indiana Jones. That's very adventure-y. Final Fantasy. Like, I don't think I'll ever go completely away from spooky stuff because that's so much who I am. I love horror, but it'd be nice to play something a bit more adventurous. What's in fantasy in my life? Like I said, levity. Levity would be nice, please. Chow. Let's see, season 1 is pretty decent, but sometimes the character-based drama annoyed me. Like, I guess it's like soap opera, needlessly dramatic, because that has killed some of my favorite shows of the past. Also, goodbye, Strine Story. I'm sorry I missed that comment there. Oh, let's do distracted with my own stuff. Okay. Man, these I have to admit, these behind the scenes stuff is tiring work, man. I don't think I'm getting any of this stuff done like I wanted to tonight, but at least I've gotten started. And plus, I now have the satisfaction of knowing that I have started running these streams with you, all of you at home, my favorite people. Select, yeah. I don't really need this. In fact, let's make that gauntlet still. This is the one I need to change because it's a different show. Why would I have the button in Haunted Hangouts, bring it back to Haunted Hangouts? That would be silly. So, separate file, Awesome Adventures, boop, there we go. So I hit that, boop, brings it back here, click under that, cool, yeah, that's fine. Gaming Gauntlet, so select, make that Adventures, and then separate file. This, unfortunately, is probably going to be what most of the stream is going to be from here on out. Just me copying and pasting and changing one or two settings. But, if nothing else, I hope it's at least... That's not good. You need to go to Haunted. Then, perfect. Then you, Gauntlet. Cool. All the buttons seem to be working. Yeah. It's a lot of buttons. A lot of what? No. Do not touch any of that. Let's make sure the text settings are good. Audio jack. No, actually, this needs to be headphones now. Thank you. I'm glad I checked that. That's the wrong setting. Let's type audio. That should be good. Okay, over here. This is the things I use to make sure that OBS and my mics are set up beforehand. This auto adjusts like this box over here to make sure it's not like killing you guys' all your ears. Like for instance, I can use this to instantly set the default audio to a certain level. I've come to realize that this is probably a bit high. So I wonder how I go about changing that audio to a certain amount. Oh, that. Okay. I think the desktop audio will be too loud, that one, so let's hit it down to roughly... It was like, what, 30 beforehand? Yeah. I wish I could just set this to a numerical value. Sure, 31. Okay, that's fine. Boop. Great. Cool. Excellent. Let's see. Actual audio is at 3. It's actually... I could have been louder. Okay. Leave default camera settings alone, kind of like what I have right now. Camera check. Dude. Huh. This basically sets it... If at this point it allows me just to mute everything just to... I'm not sure I need this button anymore. Oh. I'll just save it just in case I do. Anyway, backing up. You say younger characters being a bit dramatic and dumb, basically, can be powered through. Okay. You're kind of cranky. Oh, why are you cranky, buddy? What happened? Everything okay? I'm going to go and adjust these other things while I'm thinking about it. I don't want to be surprised about these later. That's still connected. It is good. Okay. Cool. All that stuff set to go. I'd like to see that. So back to some adventures. Back to our pre-show. So that one works. Cool. Start. All right, so now I think it should be set up correctly. It's now how to Hangouts. It should instead be... There we go. Perfect, perfect. That's like to see. All right, moving on. Starting soon is all set to go. Yay. Oh, the cranky thing is... Oh, the one gold chain... Oh, was a Chainsaw Man fan? That's awesome! Which gold medalist? Is it one of the hockey players or someone else? I did see that the couple from the figure skating dressed up as characters from Mortal Kombat, which was very rad. Ah, water. I like water. See, this is why I like having co-hosts on the show. Give me a chance to rest my mouth. Okay, we need a new start scene. So, we don't need that. This one, okay, that's what I need. All right. It's like, what's going on? It's not doing the right scene I want. This part can be a little bit easy, all things considered. I'd say, like, frankly, the hardest part is really getting the art assets into place and then taking the time to ensuring all the boxes have the right files and stuff. For instance, I need to make sure logo needs to be changed. Fine. Media source. And I really wish I could show you guys exactly what I'm doing, but necessarily can't leave this scene. I can only work on it when it's actually up like this. So at the very least, you can see things change live, which, depending on how you look at it, can look kind of awesome. Now, I mentioned earlier about, like, moving, or someone, I think it was me that brought it up, you know, moving images. That one clearly is. Yeah, when it comes, maybe see the logo on a, it's just like kind of like as a watermark in the corners. I try to actually have it pulse slowly throughout the show. And in this case, we wanted to start pulsing with that. So, using the other one as an example, I'm going to try to size it to be roughly the same proportion. That probably won't be that good yet. There. Color it. Gonna delete that one. Boop. There we go. Most of the process is done. Let's actually bring it a little bit to the left. So too close to the corner. The saying goes, and media shit, tight is right. Yeah, it's a very subtle pulse. Like, that's the thing. I don't want to be distracted from the main action, but I did want it to be enough that it kind of like keeps everything from being too static. Yeah, it's a very slight kind of thing. It's the thank you credits also are very slight for the same reasons. Like, very few things are just solid. Like in the background, that's probably the most solid stuff I have. But I made that this morning through Premiere. Everything else seems to be in order. Unmute the mic. Mute the desktop audio, which is good. It keeps the game audio from being heard, especially if I have it up beforehand. And it's playing the music, or the introduction sound, as I call it. Kind of keeps things light and peppy at the start. Yeah, a lot of this audio goes away when you're playing the game, so you want that kind of mesh. I also noticed that it's also very high, so let's bring that down. So, but again, ideally it'll switch to the right scene. Wait a moment. And hit the button again. There we go. And the audio should be a bit more... The music should be a bit more manageable now. Ideally. And actually, when I'm thinking about it, because that was a problem with Haunted Hangouts last week, let's fix that right away there too. There we go. That would be a bit more manageable for that one. And let's do that for here as well. Again, ooh, the wide, exciting world of macros. Yeah, but this is the process. So, minute details slowly being interwoven into the roll show. I think all that really changed on this one is just the border. I need to get out my castle border. The cam is fine because if I take that away, it just brings up my little backup. Please stand by. Yeah. All right. I do need to make a duplicate of this though. Yeah, because I have to be really careful with how groupings work in OBS. Like, the entire collection of both my video cam and the box itself is I call it a big cam box that is used just for haunted hangouts. Because I can't do it in a way to make it all nice and seamless, have it separated and be unique, because it doesn't allow you to change different files easily through Elgato. So basically it's like taking the same computer file or folder and just changing like one file and telling, Elgato, okay, to go grab that one folder for whatever show I need it. That's basically what I'm doing. Even though you look inside, it effectively has more than 90% of the same parts. I have to do it that way because of like one file for each show. In this case, the file I need to create a duplicate folder for is going to be the colorful box. Technology, man. Technology. Yeah, it can be. I mean, once you get everything set up, it works. It works really, really well. However, it's a pain. It's a really big pain in making sure it works really, really well. Alright, so now I need a source. Big window. Haunted. Nope. Adventure. So yeah, perfect. Go to that one. Make sure it loops. Boop! Oh yeah, here's one thing I need to do whenever I import one of my new borders. Because it's impossible to render anything in Premiere like a video clear, I have to give it a green background. I essentially green screen all these effects using a filter, I believe. Yeah. I use chroma key. Boop. And then boop. There we go. We're almost there. Okay. All I need to do now is get rid of that and boop! Done! Look at that. Look at that nice shiny new window. All set up for intros now. Oh, I forgot to do this too. The lower thirds. This is what I've learned the hard way about needing to have multiple stuff set up. Because my lower thirds are getting fucked up whenever I switched different show collections. It was silly. But if that's what it took to do it right, so be it. And I spent, like, before the first day of the gaming gauntlet, like, to like 3 in the morning, learning this the hard way, getting this all set up. And now it's all set to go. And the more of these I do, the quicker it does get, which is nice. So let's see, I think we're off to Discord intro now. For this, all I need is... In fact, I can get most of this stuff from over here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this right away. Let's duplicate the Discord intro from here because less I have to worry about. Go. Boop. Rid of that. Gone thought. And because I did it once already, it's now perfectly in place for this screen. Over here, let's make sure that the Elgato button is all set to go right away. It is. Beauty. Oh, I can't forget to change border. Looks like I need to make a Discord box real quick. Yep. Gone thought, don't need you. Inside here, all I need is get rid of that. Bop. All that's left is to go here and add the adventure window I've already made up elsewhere. Bada bing, bada boom. That's all good to go. It's so pretty. So I'll make sure to test it. Looks fine there. Looks fine there. Whoop. I think that's it for all of the pre-show stuff, which is nice. Cool, cool. All right, on to the main show. Start with the main focus. That's going to be probably one of the most tedious bits of all of this, but it is what it is. First things first, let's actually make sure. Sounds like Jade's having a rough time up there. Yeah, Jade has raid nights these nights. And sometimes you don't go so well, which seems to be the case tonight. Okay. One thing I used to do, I don't do it much anymore when it comes to like these large screens. I used to change it so that like my screen window box use the same like type of files as like the outer border and have them change like to be the same kind of hue. So for instance, like the orange had the same kind of balloon effect as like the red one did. It got complicated. It made it to Iffy. Yes, actually, yes, a MMORPG. She raids with Lodum. You've seen them all the time in chat. She raids with Lodum every Monday and Wednesday, a bunch of their friends on Final Fantasy XIV, which is why I thought tonight would be a good time for me to start streaming, because otherwise I'm kind of left to myself, twiddling my thumbs, doing, well, sometimes mostly DMing, usually on Wednesdays, but every now and then I'll just have a free night. And when we schedule around, I still have, plenty of free time during the week, but now I can have stream twice a week. In the long run, I'd love to do this 3 times and not worry about my day jobs anymore. But that day will come. That day will come. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but yeah, Jade is notoriously loud when she plays raids. Like, we've seen her on stream. She's a loud woman. She shouts. She rages. It's wild. Yeah. Anyway, I need to restart working on this giant box. Okay, first things first. This will take a little bit, so bear with me. First of all, bop. Okay. Get my main shot done. Like, actually, no, here. Let me show you what I mean. So for... No, I can't. That's right. Oh, why did I do that? You can't see how many things here. Just know that, well, this one over here has like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sources. For the main shot to hide all the stuff that I use, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different things. Oh, man. That you had to go and duplicate and fix up. Riveting content. I mean, it could be. For all I know, it could be very interesting. I hope it's interesting. It's just me, I guess, if anything, complaining like a jock. Let's see, first things first, let's change out that lower logo. Thanks, Phantom. I appreciate you saying that. This one's a little bit bigger Then haunted. So I can't go too much towards the edge. Put it about there, I want to say. And actually, no, I just had an idea. I can set up the game capture. I can't, never mind. I thought I could use it, set it up to go and capture OBS, but I can't. Never mind. Oh well. So that needs to be red. And let's get, boop, get rid of that. Beauty. Now do I need, oh, thank me. I only have to change, I thought for a second that I was going to have to duplicate the box, the image, everything underneath it. No, I just need to add in and fix up the Awesome Adventures stuff. So, it's a good time to go and adjust the toggles. So, gosh. Oh, I wish I could show you guys this. Maybe I can. I don't really need to see this over here. But to simply have the ability to do this, I need to, inside of the Elgato app, let me go back to that toggle, adjust all of these. Make that happen. All right, so let's see here. Main shot. Make sure it's the adventure main shot. Cool. Yes, I mute that. I mute that. This is... Do I have the lower one yet? Let me hit the button real quick. Cool. That's what I want. Potential fun charity stream idea. D&D one shot with the ability to donate for chaos. Actually, yeah, I did that once upon a time. The first 2 years I did D&D campaigns where people could do things like instant revive characters and never mind monsters. They never actually took care of my monsters. But they had like the $50 donation once upon a time was a pull from the deck of many things, which had hilarious results. Anyway, it needs to be this. Okay, switch to main shot scene. Yeah, perfect. Show upper camera smell. Yep. This one. I need you to make it to show the lower animated logo. There we go. Yeah, all this took so long to label because none of these things, as you probably saw, it doesn't have, it doesn't have exactly what it is. I had to go through and write all of this stuff out. Keep it nice, clear, and simple. All right, so. Well, that's not good. Yeah, well, the thing is, I wouldn't be opposed to doing it again. Like, maybe next year I can have one of the days be a D&D night. That would be kind of fun. I wouldn't want to have to be the whole thing. Like, actually, I might do it. I might have a D&D day. Or really a RPG day. Get that back in again. DM live on camera. That'd be fun. Let's do it. And who knows? That's the good thing about Awesome Adventures. I also could do one-shots, too, if I want now. Now you think about it. Cool. That's kind of exciting. Because I do have a lot of RPGs that I have yet to use. It'd be fun to run them occasionally here. I just need to find friends willing to be on camera. Maybe I can finally fulfill my dream of getting to run a session of Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk. The game. I never got to play the RPG yet, but I want to. It'd be neat. I thought about also with this model being able to do board games through Tabletop Simulator. I mean, I would love to someday actually have cameras pointed towards a table, but I don't have the money or space to hook up wires and cameras easily enough to feed it from here into my kitchen. Maybe it's downstairs someday. But it's a lot of work, a lot of money, and it took me forever to get all this set up. So, let me make more of this first. Okay. Got off on a tangent. Wait. So. Oh, that's what's going wrong. Okay. So what's been happening is that all those little like things I showed you, it was technically toggling the stuff, but it was toggling them all in the Haunted Hangouts version, not this one. So now I need to go and set them up for here. Silly. But it is what it is. I don't think Jade's winning up there. No, sounds like she stood in the wrong spot. Poor Jade. So let's see. Maybe if... Let's see if I can add this in momentarily. I want you guys to be able to at least see what I'm doing here. What did they use for this? Display capture. Okay. Oh, jeez. Get down here. There you go. Awesome. I can now at least show you what the crap's going on. Alright. That should be more exciting. Let's do that. I feel better now. Okay. I know it's the Camp Crystal Lake cabin, but it makes me think of Evil Dead's cabin. Yeah, that was also an idea to invoke, or at least an impression to evoke there too. And I'm kind of glad that came across. So let's see. Small cam. Okay. Color bars. Dude. Adventure, main shot, show upper color bars, boop. It's going down the line. Da-da-da-da-da, cool. So now, if I hit this button, it won't do anything. Okay, what went wrong? Okay. Hide lower, small cam, yep. Hide. Is it big? Oh, let's go over here. Main shot. Okay, and it changed it over here now too. Oh boy. So much of this is just freaking troubleshooting, man. I don't have that yet. So I'm going to keep that blank. Hide upper small cam. This is insane. And for whatever reason, like changing collection would mess up everything here. So no matter what, whether I would have them on the same collection or not, I would have to go through and name them like all the stuff you see as it is now. So at this point, it made no sense to me to not have it all be underneath the same project file. It's nuts. Hide upper small cam, please. Main shot, color bars, upper color bars. Hide lower animated logo. That we do have. Hide lower animated logo. There we go. High small discard box. We don't have that yet for this. I need to make it. Unless I do. Small. Nope. I need to make a special small Discord box for this now too. Okay. Neat. What was I thinking? But okay. That now should finally do nothing. What did I do wrong there? You defeated someone with 2 cards. Did you like paper cut them to death? What do those cards do? I wonder if it's because it doesn't have these things yet. That I now need to set up to make it work properly. Let's look into that real quick. So all right, fine. Upper animated logo adventure. That's what I need. It says I already made it, but I haven't. That's confusing. On an intro here for animated logo haunted. Cool. And then game shot. No. It's a different size. Okay. Is it because it's... Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I thought it would share or copy the other one because it doesn't. Never mind. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Back to the main shot here. Cool. But I've already made it. I can just import it. And then go. Abba-dee-ba-da-ba-doo-ba-da-ba-da. Log it. And then boot this one. Be gone, thought. Cool. Then over here. Let's have it over there. Show upper animated logo. Upper animated logo. Cool. That's now in there. So then over here, I can then do hide upper animated logo. Cool. Yay, I got it to work. Woo! Awesome. Oh, gosh. That's one button down. Let's get the Discord one figured out, too. Now, what makes this one different? It really doesn't. I probably could just change my Discord boxes to just that. Let's see here. Oh, a lot of stuff. Evenly matched can only be activated at the end of the battle phase. Okay. If you control no cards, you can activate it from your hand. Your opponent must banish cards face down to the match your side. So basically, it kind of wipes the field. Okay. Face on banished is like super banished, Giga Exile. Got it. See, because you can't like go through and dig it. Ultimate Slayer targets extra deck monsters and can't be responded to with monster effects, and one of the same type from your own extra deck to grave to bounce them. Nice. So you can. Oh. Yeah, yeah. It's like, so one card basically cleans them out, and the other one like basically allows you to bounce, I guess, evenly matched over and over again, if I understand it correctly. I think. I'm assuming that's what it is. I hope. All right, and before I go on, all right, so now, cool. I'm not sure why I even have those on here. I don't really need to have them hide the Discord box because they're out of the way. Actually, while I'm here, so haunted. That. Cool. Then adventures. No. Gauntlet, please. Thank you. Here. Main focus. I am just making sure. Oh. I don't bother switching that at all. Around at all. Okay. Never mind. To adventure. Cool. That's all set to go. And I think because I made it that much easier now. So this is going to be toggled like that. Cool. Discord cam toggle. Shouldn't need me to do anything else except just to mount these things to change it specifically on the adventures version of this page. Gosh, this is crazy. I hope people are understanding what the hell I'm talking about right now. Okay, and main shot, source, small Discord bars. Cool. Oh, and make sure that the first thing does keep it there. Cool. All right, so button is not buttoning. What's going on? Too late again. Adventure main shot. Adventure main shot. Adventure main shot. Okay, main shot here. There it is. It was still trying to change the things on the Haunted Hangouts version. No, I want small discard box. Go here, but then discard bars. Great stuff. There you go. Beauty. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Do cardboard wipe. Basically, yeah, banished everything but a link. Then I bounced their link, so I broke their board. That's evil. So basically, like cleared out all of the intricate stuff that how their deck works. And what is it, Tifa? Hello. Do you want attention? Hi, come here. Come here, baby. Hi. It's okay. We're about due for a Tifa visit, huh? Come here. I know. Oh, little one. Look at this Korg. Tifa. Now it's a stream. You know, if you would actually wouldn't be so wiggly, you could sit on my lap and I could pet you. I work on this stuff. Oh, kind of like that. All right. All right. Did I have a favorite car from the Yugi Man stream, Flint? I presume you saw a bunch of new cars that day. I did. I saw quite a few new ones that day. I think I'm going off entirely by picture, to be perfectly honest here. But on that critique alone, I would say that oh, you're so soft. Love you. New cards. So I'm not going to cop out and say one of the old cards that I enjoyed. But honestly, the ones that got started to my mind were the Precious Dragon Maids, because I used them quite a bit, and I guess they were just, cute. Also, Dwagons. I like Dwagons. Oh, how you doing, Tifa? You know, I've often thought about giving her like a nice walk-up chair. I feel like with old, yeah, I love me some Blue Eyes White Dragon, which I thought I used to own a version of, but apparently I do not. I want to go hunt down a copy of the card, which I'm assuming is not that hard to do. I hope, because they seem to be very, very, very used quite a bit in the online game. So let's see. I'm just gonna change for the 3DS one. Do the same thing as the Discord, which is to give it the same name. I just got to make sure I don't click off my main shot there. There we go. Let's see. Give it the same name, so all I really need to do is just update it to the right sources. Oh, shy doggo. Oh, okay. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. All right. Oh. Let's do that. That should do what I wanted to do. Or not. What did I muck up? Who is texting me? The Almighty Jim. Oh. Uno Momento. My dad's sending me one of my favorite games. He likes to send me random pictures of movies that have me guess the film. Ooh, this is a toughie. Not really clear photo. But I don't usually guess by one image alone. You remember material. Let's see. Oh god, no. Blue Eyes is like the most mass-produced card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's what I figured. That's your main shot. Why did like the sinking feeling in my stomach that I just mucked up something in another showroom? I'm gonna actually put you there. I like that. And just to make sure I didn't mix anything up, let's look at the haunted main shot real quick. Cool. Oh, right. I need to make sure I was on the right page for that. Right, something's going wrong there. First of all, let's go to that. Oh, did you guys finally clear your fight upstairs? I didn't hear thunderous applause from down here. Nice! That's awesome! Congrats, guys! I should be happy. I should be really happy. Wait, you died? Still counted? Wait. So, did you win? I'm confused. So did the game count it as a win? I am left in suspense. Yay! They got the kill. That's what we like to hear. That is what we like to hear. Oh, I think I know what I did. Okay, so I need to, at the very least... I can't take a shortcut like I wanted to. Damn. Alright, I did this the hard way. Boo. Boo, I say. Yeah, well. Screen was fading for black for the reset, and then we got the stuff. That is good. I'm excited about that. You made sure to tell me before Jay could, just cuz? That's devious. Well, I'm going to act surprised no matter what. Because I'm a good husband. At least I try to be. No, I am. Alright, so I need to put this back in. Hide. Game. Box. I need to make sure this is also in the other one too. Boo. Haunted main shot. There we go. Game box. almost fixed. Oh, boop. There we go. Sure what's going on there, but oh well. Good. She won't know. But was that? She won't know. Be able to see her. You are a devious man. All right, so fix that. It's back in Adventureland. I need to get this all sorted out now. Boo. Okay, copy. Maybe it'll allow me to just do this nice and simple, like without too much fuss. Yeah, because basically I found out that one part of the whole toggle was dependent on one element being show specific. So I have to go through and now duplicate all of the DS stuff. Did I say boo? That just means work. Work for me. The Flint. Just make sure this is the right one. Adventure's good. Alright, game box. I haven't made it yet. Shit, background music, sir? I suppose. I mean, I've mostly been talking for a lot of this. Like, almost non-stop. But, honestly, it'd be take a whole lot to get sorted the way I need to. I mean, a lot of this is really kind of like impromptu kind of change. But the main reason is I'm not sure if it's still here, but the main reason is my YouTube safe music is tied to OBS. And I could very easily start playing it a second time while I'm doing this game. Or all this stuff. But I might get to the point where I may just do the rest off screen. Because I do want to finish this tonight, and I have been talking about this for the last 2 hours. It is a weird stream setup. Like, it was meant to be kind of behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. I've been kind of... a lot of the earlier parts was me going through and talking about different things, trying different design choices. Like, it's... Some points it's exciting, some points not so much, but, yeah. Yeah. Well, either way, I think, yeah, I might do that route. Because I do want to focus more on doing all of this troubleshooting where I can just focus on it and get it done right away and go to bed at a reasonable time tonight. So I'll call it this here for now. Let me get it to at least a screen that resembles end show. But, yeah, okay, it's not happening. Yeah, let's go to that for now. Bleh. No, not that. Bleh. There. I like that. I didn't miss you. I just forgot to respond because I'm banging out. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway. Hope you all had at least a good time hanging out with me tonight, working on this. Next week, we will have... Oh, Indian, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll be here longer next week for sure. But I want to focus on this stuff now. It's getting kind of to the drier part of the night anyway. But next week we'll start off with a proper game, and I'll definitely, certainly, I swear by it, go longer than this. But for now, for now, I want to get lock in. But hi, the Ant. Thank you for being a patron. Much like Wally, Lodom, Phantom, Moody, and Astra. If you have any suggestions of what we could play for Awesome Adventures, please say so down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Especially if you watched this much for the last 2 hours and 14 minutes. Otherwise, have a great night. We'll see you on Friday for Haunted Hangouts, where we'll be playing Resident Evil Requiem. Get excited. I'm going to start tonight convincing Jade to have us play more than just a few hours. I want to get a good chunk of the game done if I can manage it. It's going to be fun. We're going to be blind. It'll be amazing. Cannot wait. Anyway, you have a good one. Take care. I love you all. Bye-bye.